You're live.
On tonight's Thee DNVR Postgame Show. This morning's, yeah, shit.
Only in Central Time Zone.
What the hell was that? Let's do it.
Buff Nation.
No feedback. Let's discuss. If you could do that for like an hour, we could just call that the show.
Didn't have an hour.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Guess we got to talk about it now, huh?
What the hell was that?
Let's talk about it.
Oh, I don't know. I need a beer. Can I get a delicious Breckenridge Brewery juice drop? It even has a Buffs logo on it, you know. In times of celebration and in times of sorrow.
Just one?
Juice drop, hazy IPA. Thank you. Oh, all right.
Where do we start?
Am I supposed to answer that
brother got to
question?
do to get a beer?
That was / rhetorical and the real question, but where do we start?
Where do we go
All right, I'll
from here?
Because I think that this is the
Get up.
this is when it started. This is why this happened, in my opinion. I think that Colorado had a really poor game plan today. And because of that, got off to a really poor start. And thus, we're never really in a position to take this game. And to me, my biggest issue with it was I didn't feel as though we had a plan or a good plan for neutralizing the interior defensive line for Nebraska. And so because of that, I felt we found ourselves in really bad positions that played into their hand of their strengths. And so to me, that's kind of where this started is offensively. I just didn't feel like our game plan was well suited to prevent them from being able to do what they do best.
Yeah. Same issues from last year. And it was brutal. And this shit needs to get fixed immediately because we are in week 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely too early for trying to spin this into a positive, so I don't think that's what I'm doing here. But I guess if there was a time for a wake-up call, it was now, and that's what this was. It's absolutely a wake-up call. And now I will say Colorado's not going to face a pair of interior pass rushers like that again this season. But they do have to be a lot better at protecting Shedeur. And, I mean, we were right back to, where we were against UCLA or any of those games last year. It was just like, man, basically Shedeur gets back there, he hits his back foot, he looks for his first read. If it's not there, he's trying to, create a miracle, scrambling out of the pocket and getting sacked.
Unc?
As much as I agree with all that, I disagree with all that. This is week 2.
Yeah.
And the goals that we set for this team before we played week 1 are still in place.
Yes.
Goal 1, get Peggy to a bowl game, still in play. Goal 2, go to the Big 12 championship, still in play. Do we have to play better, game plan better, execute better? Of course we do. But when you peel back the layers of the issues in this game, I didn't see things that were not fixable. Last year, we had things that were not fixable because it was a a talent issue in a lot of places. And that's what showed his head tonight. Like, we faced two guys on the defensive line that were better than people on our offensive line. And it ain't a substitution issue because the best guys were out there, so they were going to be better than them. Could you do some things with run game and help them? Oh, of course. No, I'm not knocking that. But sometimes it ain't your night, and sometimes you play a team that is better than you. And what I'm looking for, or what I looked for in this program today, it reminded me of the road trip to Oregon. You know you're going to a place that is programmatically, historically, where you're trying to get to. We got blown out in Oregon.
Yep.
Nothing we could have done. There were things tonight we could have done. Like, we could have been in the game. Maybe we couldn't have won it, but we could have been in the game where it changes what they do, and then you just see what happens. But from start to finish, we were out of it. Didn't give Shedeur a chance. Some of our run calls or lack of run calls were head scratchers. God bless Charlie Alfredo, love him to death, but I'm not going to Charlie on 4th and 2. 3rd and 2. Not with Dallin Hayden's body or Micah, that kind of thing. So we had some head scratchers out there, but when I look at what are my benchmarks for this season, what are the things I want to accomplish this season, they're still very much in play.
But you mentioned the Charlie stuff, and I think it's a good thing to talk about because there's 2 times, right? Mm-hmm. 2 times where they ran it into the back of the line and didn't get anything. But that's kind of what I'm talking about when I refer to the game plan. When you're building the game plan as an offensive coordinator or whoever's involved with that process, you put in what you call money plays, which is when there's a down that we gotta have, this is the play that we're going to run. And so, to me, when you have those conversations and you say, okay, we're going to get a 4th and 1, we're going to have it. What are we calling? I don't understand how the answer to that question is we're going to call inside zone out of shotgun to Charlie Offerdahl into the middle of their 2 best players. Like, that is mind-boggling to me. So that's where I'm just like, from Sunday or Monday or I guess it was Friday, I feel like the plan for this game was not developed properly. And that is fixable. And to be, fully honest, like, that's why games like this happen. No, it's the same thing as players have bad games, whatever. Like, sometimes the game plan isn't good, and the other team has a good game plan. That's why a team that was a 6.5 point favorite ends up winning by 18. Like, they had a great game plan, you had a bad game plan. It happens. Sometimes they played great, you played poorly. It happens. And I think it's a mix of multiple things there. But that, to me, like, when I was sitting in the stands watching this unfold, that was what was most disappointing to me.
And I'm hanging my hat on what you said. It's fixable.
It is. 100%.
It is fixable, and it is week 2.
Yeah. I don't. Where do we go from here? Do we just dig into it? Because I got some rants, I think.
Yeah, send it.
Let's talk about the run game.
Or lack thereof.
First off, Chet was right. Dallin needs to start. He has to start.
And we all agreed with that.
Yeah.
Literally yesterday on
I
the
don't
show.
think there's been a debate about that.
Yeah, but
when you say the chat is right, it's like the juxtaposition that is that someone here was saying differently.
No, but
Dallin Hayden is clearly the guy who needs to get the lion's share of the carries.
But why is he not in there? Like, why are we giving him the ball in the 4th quarter? Why is the Travis end-around play coming in the second half? Like, why is that not used to jumpstart your run game on your opening drive in the first quarter at least? And then why
like we did the first play last week.
Yes, with Draylon. Where was Draylon? First off, did he play? And then only 4 designed runs for the running backs in the first half. That's ridiculous.
I agree. I mean, you're talking about what I was just talking about. This is a plan. And yeah, again, I guess if you want to go into the Charlie Dallin thing, like, it goes back to what we always said about it. We weren't saying Charlie should start. or that he's going to be a part of it. We're saying that's what's going to happen, and it has happened.
But
so I'm just want to be clear about that.
Yes.
No one here was saying,
I know.
pounding the table saying Charlie Offerdahl's got to be the starting running back. And I don't. Go ahead.
Well, just we heard that Charlie's going to start, but we have a rotation at running back. Where's that rotation then? Because
we also heard Flea say it was going to be a 2-man rotation.
But it's like,
how many carries did Charlie get tonight? 4?
Yes, I think so.
How many
I'll
Dallin
pull it
get?
up. Charlie finished with 4 attempts for 4 yards. Dallin finished with 5 attempts for 32, and he had 17 as his longest carry.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing that came out of this that I would say you might have found something that you can work with, it's that you can run the ball out of pistol. Those Dallin Hayden hits were mostly out of pistol. And going back to when Peyton Manning came to Denver, he basically said, I don't play under center. And Gary Kubiak was the coach. He was like, well, I do play under center. So we're going to have to figure something out here. And their kind of meeting in the middle was pistol, because you want to be able to, hand the ball off like that. And so, like I said, if there's one thing that I thought came out of this, it's I'd like to take that and build on it. It was running the ball out of pistol.
And then, they always talk about we got to be better in the running game. We got to be more consistent. Well, sometimes you just got to say, screw it. We're just we got to run the ball. They feel, especially in the first half, it was like they ran the ball because they felt like they needed to because they hadn't done it so much. Whereas, you just got to do it sometimes. First and second down, you just got to call run plays. And they don't do that. And the question I asked you, Unc, why don't they just go 12 personnel and just say, screw it, we're just running the ball here?
And I would absolutely love that. I still think it has to strike. And I hate to even be devil's advocate in this because I totally agree with you. But I remember last week when we did, after Shedeur was 5 and 5, 5 for 5 or 6 for 6, and we did 4 running plays in a row. 3 in a row and 3 and out. And so I don't want them to be so dogmatic about it that they go to that extreme. But tonight was a night, particularly when you ran the ball, run away from their 2 best guys.
Exactly.
Not toward them.
But
and everything was right toward their middle 2 guys who you knew from scouting were the best on their D-line. And you would bring in Sam Hart, in a package and go away from him instead of with him.
I'm 100% with you, and again, to me, it goes to how does that happen? All week we kind of heard hey, look, we didn't run the ball well against North Dakota State, but we threw it really well. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's okay, if you're acknowledging that the running game is still a work in progress, why on a massive down are you running the ball? If you're going to go for 4th and 1 and you've already said that you're not a running team, put the ball in the hands of your best player and let him do something with it.
Absolutely. And let him do something with it as in make the decision. Because if you got Travis Hunter out there, Jimmy Horn Jr. out there, and you can't run or shouldn't run toward their 2 best guys, throw the ball.
Well, and again, I would love to be a team who says we line up on 4th and 1 we run it down your face.
Yeah. But if that
we
ain't
have
you,
not shown we aren't that.
Yeah.
And we haven't shown that at all yet. So in that case, I'm okay, if we're going to do this, I want the ball in 2's hands. I love Charlie Offerdahl. He's worked his ass off to get here. It is not who I want the ball in his hands on the money downs.
Could not agree more. And you got things like jet sweeps. You got just little quick outs. There's a way to pick up 1 or 2 yards without running toward their 2 best guys.
Yep.
Let's take a break. Shout out Game Time. By the way,
take a break.
Game Time, presenting sponsor of this the DNVR Postgame Show.
Game Time rocks.
They do rock. Next week's a big one. Buff Nation's got to show up for this one in FOCO. So head on over to Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time! Once again, unrehearsed. At this point, it's kind of rehearsed because we're just doing what we did before.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get there, Jake.
Coors Light.
Are you sure?
No, he's not. We discussed this, Jake. I need you to lock in, Jake. You're running toward their 2 best players right now.
No one is locked in.
Run away from it, Jake.
I bet.
I'll just go on here. We can figure this out in a second.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm going to shout out Circle K because we got some snacks
I hear snacks.
I hear snacks. And we needed to eat after this, and we came onto the bus, we lined it up, and Circle K brought it with the snacks. Peachy rings. Everything's so peachy right now. That's why I want these. Anyways, shout out Circle K. You can become an Inner Circle Rewards member by going to www.circlecase.com/inner-circle for more information on how to become an Inner Circle member. When you join the Inner Circle, you get discounts not only just on snacks, but on gas. That's not sustainable.
It's not, but I wanted to snack while you're talking about snacking
fair enough.
to further the ad read.
I'll allow it.
Are you done? Because these are hot.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, cool. I was trying to give background to what you were doing over there.
Someone else can figure out what we got. We'll figure out in the next ad read. Help. Okay. All right. We'll circle back to it. Anyways, what are you?
We can't talk about it on the show.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anyways,
it's going to be a meeting after the show with Jake's in charge.
I do want to say this. It is week 2. There's a lot of time to get this figured out. You've got Colorado State on the schedule this weekend. You've got Baylor on the schedule after that. Those should be a lot better matchups for you than Nebraska was tonight. But this is not just any other game. This is not just a normal loss. This is not just hey, the ball didn't bounce our way tonight. And I just think it's important to acknowledge that. Like, this is a massive rivalry. This is a game that means a lot to Colorado fans. Means a lot to everyone who's involved with it. And so I understand, and I'm not reading the comments, but I have a feeling that people are very, very upset in the comments. And I understand and I sympathize with everyone who is feeling that way and doesn't want to hear tonight that, like, it's all going to be okay. Because if you guys just want to vent and be pissed off and yell about it tonight, you have that space to do so. Obviously,
you have that space, and I have my space to say
100%.
Everything's going to be all right.
That's what
this is week 2, and our goals have not changed, and our ability to reach those goals have not changed.
Absolutely, everyone is entitled to however they want to feel tonight. I just want to put it out there. Also, let's not make it personal and keep it respectful with whatever you're saying, but vent it out. Vent it out if you gotta.
Smoke them if you got them.
What else you got for us, Jake?
I don't know where you really want me to go here with the game. Shedeur was sacked 6 times. That's unacceptable. What happened to DT2?
Yeah.
And 2's got to get the ball out of his hands quicker. 2 is responsible for some of those.
He does. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. Going back to the pick 6 real quick in the run game. Because I asked Coach after the game, I was like, why were there only 4 design runs for running backs in the first half? Like, was that game flow? Was that, like,
game plan?
Play calling? Yeah, like, what was it? And he said it was game flow, but when you're down 14-0, like, you can look at the scoreboard and it looks bad, but you're not out of the game, especially in the first quarter. So, like, Coach said it was game flow, so it's play calling or the game plan then just didn't have running in the first half game plan. And that's just not good enough.
Yeah. I mean, going to the pick 6, we can talk about that because it's the most uncharacteristic play I've ever seen from Shedeur Sanders.
It's the worst throw I've ever seen him make. Worst decision I've ever seen him make.
Legitimately. And,
sure.
There has to be a worse, so it happens. But it was shocking to me. And I think, unfortunately, part of it had to do with trust. Of he's about to get hit, he's about to give up safety. There's also could have been a holding on that play that would have resulted in a safety as well. And so it's like everything's kind of just falling apart. I mean, I know for a fact that I don't have to worry about him knowing that he can't do that and learning from the mistake. But I just felt like it was a culmination of everything that had gone wrong to that point, leading up to that, and it was just like, oh man, this is not good. And again, it's they have it on the 2-yard line. And I think that's actually notable. Not the 1, it's on the 2. You can run the ball there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get a couple of feet of space so he doesn't feel like his foot is on the back of the end zone and he can see grabbing and guys coming free everywhere.
And man,
like,
shout out to their punter.
Yeah,
My God.
he was great. So it's a terrible decision from Shedeur. Like I said, completely uncharacteristic. Never seen him do something like that. But at the same time, I would like to just not put him in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And even the route combination I didn't like, because why is Jalen Miller running a comeback route or an out, whatever it was? I think it was a comeback, but regardless, like, to the field on that throw. I don't know. Shedeur's first read, I think, was to a little stop route in the middle, got covered, and then he's just like, oh, everything's collapsing on me. Like, I got to get rid of the ball, and does that. So, to me, that was, you take that out, and you don't have to go score there. Let's just say that you end up punting there. You give the defense a chance. The defense was actually pretty damn good today.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave up 21 points.
Yep.
Yeah, and when you look at the second half, just like last week, the
Yep.
defense was stellar. And when I peel back the layers of this onion again, the pick six, the Bentley should have been interception that resulted in them scoring like
Jesus.
immediately. Dog, that's 14 points right there.
Yeah, I mean,
And what they score, Jake? I'm asking like I don't know.
28.
28 minus 14 is what?
14. Got yourself a game if that happens.
Gotcha. The first fourth down attempt.
And the block kick.
Yeah, I was going to say, first fourth down attempt, you kick that, get the points instead. That's 3. The block kick doesn't happen. That's 6.
Yeah.
We got 10.
Yeah, I mean, it again, it's just the start was catastrophic.
Yeah.
And it puts you in a position where all of the other stuff that happened in the game just doesn't really matter. But it is interesting to think about. You go down 21-0 pretty darn quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally understand game flow and everything that's happening. I'm not saying, like, Colorado was better than Nebraska from that point. But from that point, after you go down 21-0 in the blink of an eye, it's 10-7 after that. So it's like there's a world in which this at least is a football game.
Yeah.
But I thought the game plan coming out and just the way that the game unfolded early made all of that completely moot.
Yeah, there is and maybe to some degree it wasn't quote unquote necessary with North Dakota State, but there is seemingly you don't have the room for adjustment on offense like you have on defense. When you look at like the offensive game plan, whatever it is, and if it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. But then when you look at what the defense does when it's not working, they come out in the second half and it's a totally different defensive unit or mindset, and the scoreboard shows it. That's got to be fixed. Like, we got to be able to have a game plan, and when it ain't working, go to something else that can work. And I think when you come in with your script or your plan and don't adjust it, you get the results that you get.
But, okay, to your point, when they're down 21-0, though, there's 6:44 left in the half.
Mm-hmm.
That's the drive that they drove down, Mata's kick gets blocked and all that.
Yeah.
Only one run was called after that point. One.
Yeah.
It was the first play when they got the ball back. Charlie rushed for 6 yards up the middle. That was it.
Good run, even at that.
Yeah, that's it, though.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So wait, the pick six happened with 6:41?
No, that's when they scored. When Nebraska scored, they had a 1 yard rush on the goal line.
So make it
to make
28.
it 21-0
Oh.
at the end of the middle.
So the pick six made it 14?
Yes. That was in the first quarter.
Okay. I thought that was okay.
No. Because you had that pretty much the biggest play the quarterback had. And rewind to that. He was contained tonight. Like, when you look at the first quarter passing stats, the second quarter, this all-world QB they had, he really wasn't doing anything in the air. And he had that one play, where he dropped it in between Travis and the safety, and then that's when they, scored. But the game plan to take him out of the game worked. We just didn't do what we need to do on offense.
Yeah, 100%. And that to me is maybe the most frustrating part of this game is, the narrative kind of coming in was, okay, Colorado beat Nebraska last year, beat their ass last year, but now they have Dylan Raiola, and they have this huge upgrade at quarterback. That's going to change everything. And that's not what happened.
Nope.
They did turn the ball over 0 times, though.
For sure. Absolutely. That it made a difference. But what I'm saying is, like, Dylan Raiola didn't go out there and win this game for Nebraska.
No,
No, not at all.
I mean, they tried to have him seal the game at the end in that one of the final drives, and they just couldn't. We'll get into this, but the penalties at the end of the game.
Oh, my God, dude.
I mean, it just brought the game to a screeching halt. It was on both sides, just ridiculous.
And here's what I don't like about the penalties at the end, or the totality of the penalties on both sides. It totally skews what the penalties meant to us negatively. Because it looks like, they had 100 yards of penalties too. Mm-hmm. And Jake, you recall we were sitting right here early this morning doing the questions, and the things the things I listed that we were going to have to do to win were 4 or less penalties. Well, didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Not turn the ball over. Yeah. Didn't do that. Get a takeaway from them. Didn't do that.
Didn't do it. Yep. You're right. I mean, in the end, Nebraska ends up with 12 penalties for 105 yards.
Yeah. But at halftime, we were 7 for 80.
Like 7 for 80 at halftime. It's unacceptable.
That's double what a game typically is already at half.
100%. And that was also frustrating. I mean, it was just the whole first half was just a calamity of errors.
And let me tell you guys this. I like what I see at practice. I love the energies, guys. I love the talent of these guys. But we're not at a level, and I don't know if any team is, but we're not at a level where you can have 7 penalties in the first half. Like we're not
hardly
at
anyone is.
We're not at a level where you can overcome that. Even with a Travis Hunter, even with the Shedeur Sanders and the Jimmy Horn, et cetera, et cetera. Like discipline, cleaned up the ball. And even if you want to say, well, one of those calls might have been BS, okay, it's still 6.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Like, we had far too many penalties early in the game that just took us out of game mode, and they were self-inflicted.
Yep.
And got away with a couple. I thought for sure that was going to be targeted on Bentley.
You know what I realized tonight as I was just getting
that was shoulder to shoulder
abused on Twitter, rightfully so, by the way. Nebraska fans, they can have their moment.
My mentions are a mess right now.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what this is all about, right? But I did realize that I've never seen Colorado lose to Nebraska and been on Twitter until today. The last time that happened was before I even had a Twitter account.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a new thing for me.
Yeah. Travis was 7.
Do you want to do that ad read?
Sure, let's do it. Shout out to Coors Light.
Yes, sir.
Or should I say Coors Light? Had myself a good few of those today. A responsible amount, though, as you guys can tell. I'm pretty locked in right now.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
You're hitting your goals.
This is no I directed the band type of a situation today. But I did enjoy myself some Coors Lights at the tailgate, which was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Shout out to everyone who came out there. The only drawback was that we had to share the tailgate with Nebraska fans, but it kind of ended up being a pro because then we got to play Nebraska fans in drinking games, and we dominated them. So at least we dominated in something today. They got us on the football field, but damn, we fucked them up in Flip Cup. Anyways, shout out to Coors Light.
A win is a win.
Which we were drinking on the Flip Cup table. You know what it's about. When it's time to chill, grab yourself a Coors Light and head to CoorsLight.com/DNVR to get it delivered straight to your door with Instacart. I think probably everyone could use a drink tonight. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
And then shout out to our new friend Sleeper, the best fantasy app around. And if you're in a state like this in Nebraska where they don't let you bet on regular books, well, Sleeper's got you covered. More or less yardage totals, anytime touchdowns. You were on there a lot. What else is on there?
You got receptions, rushing attempts, receiving, catches, receiving yards, pass attempts. It's pretty fun. It's really fun to just go on there and put it all together.
It's the best fantasy app out there. And I've been campaigning this for my fantasy football league. By the way, we're like 14 years in on this league. But Sleeper is great because if you're on another platform, you can just import your league history onto Sleeper.
No way.
Yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah. So they're awesome.
And it's by far the best interface for fantasy.
Oh, yeah, easily. If you think you have what it takes, download the Sleeper app. Use the code BUFFS, BUFFS, to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
I'm in a fantasy league with the specialists.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm gonna win.
By the way, another shot to Sleeper. Sleeper Sunday starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sleeper Sunday.
We'll be live again from the road.
Yep.
Talking ball. What'd you say?
We'll be asleep.
All right.
Right. I mean, you guys can pick where we go. I don't really know where to go from here. I mean, the game sucked.
I mean, let's talk about the end of the game, which was probably the worst ending to a football game I've ever seen in my life. Not even Nebraska fans got to enjoy their win.
Yeah.
They were so upset. The guys we were sitting next to in the press box were obviously Nebraska fans, and they were, like, beside themselves.
It was, I mean, that's what happened in the stands, too. It legitimately, no one that was in that stadium enjoyed, like, the last.
Or the chat. You guys watching probably didn't enjoy it.
No one who was watching that, even like Nebraska fans who were reveling in the fact that they were kicking our asses, didn't get to enjoy like the last 20 minutes of time on the field. It was an absolute shit show out there.
Yeah,
and
got real sloppy. A flag fest. It was like, dude, stop. Let's get out of here.
I will say, like, a lot of the calls were legitimate. There was some dumb like targeting that got overruled and stuff like that. For the most part, it's just like, Nebraska, stop grabbing people's jerseys while you're running the ball. Like, can we just get out of here?
Yeah,
it's okay.
No, those holes were real.
But it's like it was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Everyone just like, I almost felt like the two coaches could have come together and be like, "You good? I'm good. Let's go. Let's just call it." It was ridiculous.
It was.
It got pretty bad.
Again, I don't really know where to go. We can move on to CSU if you guys want. What needs to be fixed, I guess, but
let's talk about what needs to be fixed.
They need to try and run the ball. It has to be a
Do you remember us saying this like last year?
This is what's so frustrating about it, is that it has to be a point of emphasis.
And it has to be Dallin Hayden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Or where's Micah?
Michael Welch.
Where is Micah?
I mean,
the kid balled out all spring.
If I were to guess, I would say that Micah is not fully ready from a protection standpoint.
I don't care.
Okay.
I do not care.
And that's what I was going to say. If you... First of all, there's ways to get him out there and not just telegraph pass. You know, you could use him in the screen game, to run him out to the flat, whatever. Because I know that's one of the fears is like, okay, if a guy can't pass protect and you put him out there, you're telling the defense that you're not going to pass the ball. I don't think anyone is thinking that when they're lining up against Colorado right now. So, one, that's not a worry. Two, you can use him in some other ways. More importantly to me, I know we've gone, I mean, this conversation, it feels like a broken record. We talked about it all last year, and it kind of went through this progression. Do you need to run the ball? Maybe, maybe not, whatever. Then it was like, okay, they definitely need to run the ball. And then they tried to run the ball, and they failed at running the ball. And then we went back to saying, okay, well, they can't run the ball anyway, so why would they fucking try?
But we're not even at that point yet.
Exactly. And that's where I go back to the pistol, and I say, okay, when I rewatch the game, I'll chart it out and see what they actually did out of the pistol. But I would guess they averaged over 5 yards a carry, handing the ball off out of pistol. So let's work with that. Let's go with that. And then guess what? You get to add like a whole new dynamic where you can roll Shedeur out, because that's another thing that I thought they kind of found in this game was, okay, we're getting absolutely bludgeoned in the middle of our line. We have to get Shedeur off the spot in the design, not just hope that and pray that he can make magic happen and spin out of the pocket and go. So late in the first half, in the drive that they went down there and ended up, I think it was, they ended up kicking the field goal that got blocked. Mm-hmm. That drive, multiple times, they used play action to get Shedeur on the move. So, again, let's line up in that pistol, and then you can work off of that by having him boot out and throw, and get him out of the pocket anyway when, again, you're kind of having trouble building a pocket for him. Hopefully, that's a problem that was, I'm not going to say unique, because it's clearly something that's going to happen. But more unique to Nebraska, given the fact that they have guys who could be playing tomorrow. If they, if you put them in an NFL jersey and put them out there tomorrow, they're ready to go. Mm-hmm. So that to me is like, that's got to be a big part. Let's make sure that there's 15 runs out of pistol that are just built into the game plan next week. But
it's like, again, why is the Travis end around play a fourth quarter play? Like, if you need to jumpstart your running game, why not use that? Like, utilize some jet motion in your offense. Why is that, like, completely non-existent?
And we got the speed for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, that play call there with poor protection is 6 yards just off of speed. You do it right at 60 because you got that kind of talent that can get out there and turn up field. But you got it. You're exactly right, Jake. You got to put it in the game and call it, and you don't wait to fourth quarter when this thing is literally out of reach.
We got to get to injuries because, damn, the Buffs got the hell beat out of them today on the scoreboard and physically. Shiloh is probably out at least for next week.
Yeah, for sure next week. It's a broken forearm. Saw the X-ray. It's broken. Should be having a procedure first thing in the morning to start that healing process. I would imagine, sitting in listening with him and the doctors, and of course he wants to play Saturday. The stitching will not be healed enough, to play Colorado State, because they're going to, go in and do the plate kind of stuff, put the bone back together.
Oh, okay.
And so whereas you can cast it, because you see guys playing cast all the time, and he will be able to play in that. I don't know if the incisions for the procedure will be far enough healed that he plays for Colorado State. But what looked to be 3 or 4 weeks out is probably just going to be a week out.
Chidoze, he left the game.
Yeah, shoulder. Could just been a stinger, separated shoulder. I did not see his X-ray conversation. So
I did see him in a sling after the game.
Oh yeah. That's just because it was supporting it. I'm hopeful that he'll be playing again, but because didn't get the details on his. But post game, man, I saw Harge in a walking boot and Dallin in a walking boot. That could just be some swelling or anything, so I don't want to read much into it. But there was some banging up out there tonight.
And TC, Torian Carter, left the game early, too. And Coach Prime said in the press conference, Isaiah Harge is hurt.
Okay.
Jake's hurt.
Well, let me just...
Shedeur's fine, though. Shedeur's fine, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Let's go through this. Shiloh obviously hurts. He's an emotional leader. He's a physical leader. He is a starter for this team, so it really hurts. I thought Carter came in and did a pretty darn good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to say damn good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go a notch above and say damn good.
Yep.
Because we have this next man up talk.
Yes.
But for the talk to be a reality is something else. Mm-hmm. And when Carter went in and placed a Shiloh, how many times you hear his name called tonight? He was making like some great tackles that if he misses that tackle, it's a score.
Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to Carter. I thought he did a great job.
He ended up with 5 tackles. Hardly any, honestly, not even a noticeable drop-off.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next? Dallin, we wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. You need him. Chidoze, man, that would hurt.
Yeah.
And then, same thing I would say about Carter. I thought Torian Carter came in and did a great job in relief of Block Boley. Hopefully one of those two guys can play next weekend because I thought they both did a pretty decent job. Losing both of them would really hurt.
Yeah. I'll need to watch the film and stuff, but Anquin Barnes played. He did have a penalty call on him. I don't know how he actually really played tonight, though. So
a lot of things to have to rewatch, and I will rewatch it despite how much that was.
Unfortunately. Stats, I guess. I don't really know.
You're doing great. You're doing great, Jake.
Travis somehow this guy is unbelievable. He had 10 receptions for 110 yards somehow.
He really is.
Shedeur finished 23 of 38, 244, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Other receiving wise, Will was your second leading receiver, 3 receptions, 59 yards. LeJonte, 4 receptions, 20 yards, had the touchdown.
Not his best game.
Jimmy only 3 receptions for 26. Dallin had 2 for 27. And shout out Savell Smalls for getting his first catch in a CU uniform. The running game we already talked about.
When did we finally get back to at least 0 yards rushing?
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Defensively, your leading tackler was Cam Silman Craig with 11 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1 quarterback hit.
It was a dog.
Absolute fucking
You and
dog.
I hit on that defensive player of the game.
He was, man, it's so great to have him out there. But it is, really unfortunate that back-to-back weeks you lose a starting safety in the first quarter.
And Cam talked about that in the presser, yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely. And again, as much as Carter, I thought, stepped in and played really well, those are your guys.
Yeah,
They've
no,
practiced
Carter's
together.
not-
Their chemistry
yeah,
is
exactly.
all built together. And even so, the defense was not the problem tonight.
Yep.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Trevor, of course, got ejected for targeting. Nikai Hill-Green ends up with 7 tackles. Levante had 5. That's about it. Carter had 5. And then shout out Jimmy because the kick return, I mean, it obviously didn't mean anything, but he had a massive kick return early in the game that felt like it could have helped flip the Buff script. It obviously didn't, but he was really good in the return game, I thought, tonight.
He was. And it was, I should have had this as a fourth thing. But we talked about that we can't turn the ball over, and we did. We talked about that we got to get attack takeaway. We didn't. We talked about that we needed 4 or less penalties, and we doubled that. The other thing is we got to pick complimentary football. Like, there were some times, man, you talked about it. Look at Jimmy's return, and then what do we do with it?
I can't remember how that. I mean,
It was a sack on first down.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't do anything with it.
It was a sack on first down, a large sack on first down.
Yeah, I think it became 2nd and 21.
Yeah, and nothing came of it.
When was Jimmy's? Okay, so it was after the first touchdown. Yeah, Nebraska's up 7-0. Jimmy returns it 61 yards to the 37. Colorado immediately goes, or they don't go 3 and out. They go for it on 4th down after gaining 10 on 3rd and 11, and then that's the Charlie rush for a loss of 2.
So they
in the first half, man,
That's
I
from
think
the-
was
we
that
were
their
1
first run of the game?
I can find that, but the score at that point was 7-0. You're on the 28-yard line. I'm sorry. Why are we going for it there?
Well, what do you want them to do? Kick a field goal?
Kick a field goal, yeah.
Did you see the field goal game tonight?
I mean, put Jason.
But let me say this. I'm with you, Jake. I'm gonna give you a fist bump. I'm playing Madden over there, man. Get the points.
Yes.
We're on the road. We hadn't had one blocked yet.
I know.
You hadn't missed anything yet. This would have been the first attempt. This literally been the first attempt, and it would have made it, 7-3?
Yes, it would.
It would have been, yeah.
I
Go ahead.
I haven't seen a field goal leave a foot this season that looked pretty. No. So I assume that's what it looks like in practice.
No, it looks much better in practice. Okay. And I would say this: the one that you're saying is ugly, which I agree. You fucking made it.
No, absolutely. But
you don't get the chance to make it if you don't kick it.
Absolutely. But that's a short chip shot field goal, and the other one was also short chip shot field goal, and that one was blocked.
Put Jason. He's supposed to be your distance kicker.
We saw that as well tonight.
I mean, that was the first rush of the game, by the way, on 4th and 1.
Yeah, see,
that was the first run of the game. That's terrible.
That's unacceptable. I don't necessarily blame that one. That would have been a 44-yard field goal.
From the Nebraska 28.
It's a 45-yard field goal. Just based on what I've seen, I wouldn't have felt good about that. And I would have been pissed if it didn't go.
Same result would happen.
Totally.
I mean, yeah.
Totally. I just would have called a better fucking play on 4th and 1.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Sure. Obviously, yes. I think that's the, complete hindsight, that's the take,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Run a different play, but...
Hell, I might just put in a different running back.
The coach talks a lot about the game flow and that's how they factors into not running the ball, but I feel like this team gets ahead of themselves in the game flow. Like, they kind of almost freak out sometimes when it's not ideally going their way. And that's the other thing. With CU games under Coach Prime, there's this feeling you get when the game is going right, when things are working, right? Mm-hmm. And it was immediate from this one. You knew, here we go again type of thing. And they just kind of abandoned the run just because of that, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Pat Shermer did not have a good game.
No.
I mean, in fact, he had a terrible game.
Let's take our final break. Shout out to UC Health. We're going to need to try and be healthier after this one because, boy, this was taxing.
Yep.
We're going to need to go ahead.
I was thinking we need a healthy foods partner for these road trips.
Factor, where you at?
Yeah. So someone who just stocks up the fridge with healthy meals for us, so that we're not just snacking our way
that they're
across
still
America.
in the fridge the next week.
But shout out to UC Health. There's a lot of things we can do to be better. Coach Prime wants you to be better as well as the Chief Motivation Officer of UC Health's Ready, Set, Code Challenge, whether it's getting outside more, eating better, sleeping better, I don't know, meditating, spending more personal time with yourself. I don't know.
I enjoy my personal time with myself.
I'm sure you do, right?
Yeah.
The
fact,
goal
let me
of
tell
the
you
challenge
this, man.
is to get Colorado back to its
Yesterday,
rightful place as the healthiest state.
Two more people, just two more people, and I would have had a threesome.
If you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Code Challenge, click the link in the show notes or go to www.uchealth.org/readysetco.
Shout out to Toyota. Uncloves my Toyota. Hopefully not too much. But everyone loves my Toyota. Everyone loves their Toyota if they own one. Toyota's the best, most reliable car on the road. Absolute, just unbelievable features and unbelievable customer service when you see our friends at a Front Range location near you. What's the Front Range, Unc?
If the mountains are to the west, you're on the Front Range.
Yes.
And speaking of mountainless,
when does that expire, though?
Technically,
the mountains are to our west.
Yeah, but you got to be able to see them. You got to be able to see them.
All right.
If you see them and can get there in a day's ride, you're on the Front Range.
I like it.
We're not on the Front Range right now. I haven't seen a hill in Nebraska yet.
No. I was walking up to my seats, and there was just this steep grade.
Yeah.
To get even into, and I said, I looked around, and I was like, wow, this is the tallest, or this is the steepest hill in Nebraska. And
you had to lean into it.
No one laughed, except for CU fans. Anyways, visit a Front Range location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota and Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota, Eastern Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West, and Lakewood Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. By the way, so many Nebraska fans tweeting at me go home, go back to Colorado. I'm like, brother, I would rather do there's nothing I would rather do more than go back to Colorado. You don't got to tell me. I want to go back to Colorado so bad.
I know.
Oh, man.
Now that one was a good one.
I got a question for you guys.
Bring it.
I think this is important. I don't think it'd be right to end the show without doing it. Jake, you asked me before the show.
Okay, good. I want to do this.
Where's your worry meter at? 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yep.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. 6.
Okay.
I'm cutting it in half. I'm a 3.
Okay, and I'll split you guys in half and say that I'm at a 4.5.
I think those are all fair.
Yeah.
It's very concerning to me that these are the same issues as last year. Very.
For sure. The reason, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses, which I don't think this could or should be interpreted as. The reason why I'm not at a 6 is because I think Nebraska was uniquely positioned to take advantage of some of the weaknesses. And so until I see, because, last week they were able to just throw the ball over North Dakota State. Today they weren't able to do that against Nebraska. We've seen one on one hand, one on the other hand. Obviously Nebraska should be closer to the competition we're seeing the rest of the season. But no one else that we're seeing has those two guys.
And you just perfectly articulated why I'm a 3. So we don't have enough data points yet to panic.
So exactly. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and basically you got 2 weeks here. Colorado State and Baylor. Show me that was not. These aren't just the same issues coming up all over again. Show me that you can improve on this stuff over the next couple weeks, and I can lower my meter a lot. And
I believe this. You're going to lower your meter starting next week, and then it's going to lower even more. When we get to Baylor, and it's going to lower even more when we go to Florida. The difference between now and then, talent, depth. We just got to coalesce as a team. One of the things I was looking forward to this year has already happened. We lost. You mean you were looking forward to us losing? Yes. because last year we never bounced back from adversity, which proved we just weren't a good team and a good program.
They did against USC.
Yeah, but it was, and then what happened after that? I'm talking about bounce back with like some damn energy, some let your nuts drop, like go get them. Feel sorry for Colorado State, man. They're going to get all this.
Speaking of Colorado
They're
State,
going to get all of it.
Torrey Horton got hurt tonight.
I hate to hear that.
My guy Justin Michael tweeted out, no update on Torrey Horton's status tonight. Norvell says he hopes it's nothing serious enough to miss too much time. So at this point, I would bet on Torrey not playing. I haven't seen the play. I don't know what happened.
Does anyone know what happened?
Hamstring. And for a guy like Torrey Horton, that could be big. So
that just, I hate that so much just because he probably could have gone to the league last year. So I just hope it's nothing serious and he's okay.
I think he has enough of a resume that he'll be fine.
Absolutely, but you just hate to see it.
So, yeah, that's something to monitor going into this week. Anything else before we get Super Chats and get out of here?
Let's do it.
All right.
Wait, I had something.
Ooh, well, we have 28
Go
of
ahead
them.
then.
Do you have something?
No, I lost it.
By the way,
He doesn't have something.
Use your
Yeah.
use your best judgment here.
These might take a second. If they are too wild, we are not reading them. Stefan, Super Chat, said, my grandma could tackle Charlie up the middle on 4th and 1 out of the shotgun. Really?
How old is your
Starting
grandma?
off
How much does she weigh? I want to meet your grandma.
Not to be sour, but you can kill Juju. Not reading this one either. Why do we not run when quick game with Shedeur?
We did.
He took a deep breath.
I mean, the first two plays of the game were quick game. It's a quick pass out to Travis, gets knocked down at the line.
That
and
is
it's a quick
true.
pass out
Yes.
to LeJonte that gets dropped.
Yes, that is true.
The thing is, you can only run quick game so much. Because eventually what happens is the defense says, okay, well, you can't get the ball out. You can't stop our pass rushers. So we know that we have time to get up on your wide receivers because you're not going to be able to wait for them to get down the field. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened in this game. They came out and they wanted to run quick game. And eventually Nebraska started saying, okay, well, we're just not going to let you run quick game. You can't do something that the defense is trying to stop. There was a little moment there, like they were able to get Will Shepherd down the field and like things like that where they were able to counter it. But in the end, the pass rush was too much for them to get any routes developing downfield. So,
speaking of pass rush, where is ours?
It was there in spurts.
But 0 sacks. 0 sacks. We came into this game when we talked about it on like Thursday or whatever. That right tackle, man, was an issue for them against UTEP. We didn't like take advantage of that.
yeah.
I think
There was times where they got pressure. And
I was about to say, when y'all go back and
watch.
watch it, like we had some moments that we almost got them.
But they got to start being converted. They have to be. We've talked about this before the season, how the trajectory of the season could be changed just based on sacks on both sides because they're drive killers, and it's the closest thing to a turnover without being a turnover.
I absolutely
CU's got to cut down on the sacks, and they got to get them. They haven't got them
You
yet.
say that like we're going to debate it.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
I'll also just say they gave up 185 passing yards.
Shout out Robert Livingston for his second half adjustments.
Yeah, let's.
Hell, even in the first half, it was like 60 yards or something. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I'm sitting here saying, like, we almost got to him more than 3 times I saw. Hell, even the time that BJ got there and they called the roughing the passer, the ball had just barely left the guy's hand. Nevertheless,
That was a trash call.
It was, absolutely. But he got there.
Yeah.
And it was going to influence. One of the things you got to look at is not if the guy just gets the sack or not, which I'm with you. I want sacks. But did you disrupt the play? Did you make the quarterback move off his spot? Was the quarterback
true.
under duress throwing the ball? That has just as much impact on the outcome of the play as losing yards with the sack when you're trying to get 3 and outs. The problem for me, I mean, I'm sure I could look at some things and nitpick this defense tonight. Defense wasn't the issue.
No.
It
they
just
weren't.
wasn't.
They weren't.
I love when we say we're going
to
to rush through super chats and then we get one question and talk 20 minutes.
Well, I mean,
We've
It
got
is what it is.
30 of
It is
them,
what it is.
so.
It is 137. Wow, I didn't realize that. Let's keep going.
JP's revenge. I feel bad for the players mostly. They deserve better, not even put in positions to win by the staff. The vanilla, uber predictable play calling and lack of personnel changes is beyond disappointing. Cornell, we won't be balanced until Shedeur leaves. Mountain Aesthetics, Jake is mad and should be. Get on his level. Delta V, why are you doing a long cross the field pass from the 1 yard line?
Hold on. I got to stop you. You guys don't think I'm mad?
You didn't have to stop for that.
I just want to make that.
You didn't have to stop for that.
I'm of course mad.
Say Neely ain't mad enough, or Neely ain't mad. You can't look how red he is over there. He's mad.
No one wanted to beat Nebraska more than me. Let me just make that clear. But I also am not going to just sit here and mope about it all night.
Delta V, why are you doing a long cross the field pass from your 1 yard line? It's such an easy pick, such a bad play call. JCZZZZ, what's happening with this team? Between the game and the coaches fist fighting, I find myself scratching my head.
Bullshit. Now, come on now. Coaches fist fighting ain't got shit to do with this. You got a guy that damn resigned, right? And then comes to his former employer. Didn't even work there anymore. Like that's the police should be involved in that. That is not coaches fist fighting.
Thank you for saying that.
Come on, man. Like, what the hell did that have to do with today?
Nothing.
No,
I quit a job, show back up to the job days later, getting a fight in the parking lot, and you want to blame the organization and the staff or the coaches or the win and loss for that? Like, come on, man.
Elaratus says, I respectfully disagree with you, Unc. The best players weren't out there tonight, especially on offense. Biggest Bird, why do we never do guard pulls
I said on the
plays?
Offensive line. Like when their two guys, I'm going to be specific when I say the best players. When their two guys were giving us hell, Coach Phil Lodehope put the best 5 out there to handle that. If you think just by subbing it was going to get better just because it's not. They were manhandling us, period.
Jake, is there someone you want to see?
You want to see Tyler Johnson.
There needs to be reshuffling on the offensive line this week at practice.
And I guarantee it's going to happen. But we're talking about in-game. If you haven't seen it in practice, if you're getting your ass whooped in practice by guys who ain't as good as those two guys, why would I switch it in-game?
Of course, no, I completely get that. But this week they need to find answers on that offensive line.
Now, if you want to say we didn't give Dallin enough touches, we didn't. If you want to say there were some receivers who got opportunities, amen. But O-line, tonight it was what it was, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyler Johnson is a big question mark that a lot of fans have questions about. Obviously, he was a player that everyone was really excited about when he came in. So maybe he gets a chance. Maybe he gets another look in practice. I don't know what it is.
Or shit, flip Tyler and Khalil, man. Just give it a shot.
I'm not on team just give it a shot if it's not looking like it works in practice.
I agree, but if you're in a rivalry game and it's fourth quarter and you're down 3 scores, what do you have to lose?
Delta
the game
V.
by more, I guess.
I am sure it will be fine, but starting to worry about the decision-making of this coaching staff. They are making the same mistakes as last year. RG Baldwin, we have some O-line playing out of position. Steven, has any running back had 20 carries in one game since Coach Prime has been here? If not, that's a serious problem. Don Peasy, hate to say it, I think it's time to move on from Charlie as a starter, make down the number 1 and go from there. We probably need to fix this before conference play. The Campos, O-line wasn't good. What was your opinion? 1-2 games, no running game. I hope this isn't a pattern. Love y'all.
Hold on, that was a question. What was the question?
What was your opinion
on
O-line wasn't good?
We just talked about it.
Okay. I just want to make sure, if people are asking questions, I want to answer them. If people are just want to get a rant out, then that's fine.
He also says, love y'all. Shiloh Hill Fast, prayers with you. Robert Mitchell, why is Tyler Brown still playing right tackle? Sends another one. Where is Tyler Johnson? Adrian Wells, change the O-line next week. Rocket Center, Benson at guard, and put Tyler at tackle. RB1, Hayden, RB2, Welsh. Barron, losing and not improving the same issues from last year is what's so maddening. Number 2 and 12 can't do it all. I love the CU fan base, win or lose. We want growth. Y'all are amazing. DNVR.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mountain Aesthetics, born and raised in Colorado, met my wife in Boulder. What do we do when the 2 most talented players in the program's history leave with our D and O-line in shambles? Why does a 5-star quarterback commit to us?
It's called recruiting. Like, that's what we do. We recruit.
I can't focus on Julian right now.
Fair enough. The reason. Okay, fine.
It's not worth it, bro.
Yeah,
there are plenty of reasons why Juju Lewis would want to come to Colorado.
Nicole Scott, glad you always highlight the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was just a little too much ugly last night. Go Buffs. Cooper Haynes, very rough game, but I still feel good going forward. Need to improve, but I think we will. It'll smash the Rams. Another one from the Camfo says, a long life Broncos fan, I'm having flashbacks. Still have faith. I love DNVR. Go Buffs. Book of the Wild. Buffs should have been down 14 at half at most. Officiating and replay center had enough rough night from TV perspective. Roll-up tackle on Hayden looked bad. Tom Jr. Carlson, I still believe the Buffs will be 3-1 heading to Disney World at the end of the month. Let's move on from this and stay focused. Go.
I agree.
Quan Parker's burner account. Quit telling people to relax. Same problems as last year that haven't been addressed, and we lost to Nebraska. Means a lot to
relax.
Defense. Let them vent.
Make me quit telling you.
CJ, first three.
Let me just say that I gave everyone the space to vent. Everyone can vent. Neely is also welcome to say that he thinks everyone should relax. That's the point of this. Is everyone can have their opinion.
Especially when Neely didn't say to somebody, "Don't say that." You're not gonna tell me what to not damn say. Stop telling people to relax.
All right.
CJ, first three drives first three and out with 9 straight passes. That's crazy. And that's on CP for trying to throw the ball because Shermer offense runs at 45% of the time. JP's revenge. Nebraska's with, but they aren't world beaters. We lost this game because of play calling and lack of adjustments, personnel changes, not because Nebraska is just that good of a team. Delta V, same mistakes as last year. Agree with Jake. Worry level. Jake's worry level. Terry, super chat. Thank you so much with the heart. Big Teasy. A lot of teams lost.
Big Teasy in the house.
We lost. A lot of teams lost today. We can bounce back. Go.
There was some crazy shit that happened in college football.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. Yeah. Jeez.
My God.
There was some almost good losses, too.
Yep.
I hated those bastards got away.
Another one from Terry May. Jake, go talk to the team. Quan's burner account. Takeaways. Livingston did great. Travis is a dog. Need to see changes from coaches and everyone on offense. Today sucks. Beat CSU. Fight CU.
Is that it?
Tell Erica, tell CP we need Will Shepard, please. He's open. Last two, the Campos. If we can get a game without second half adjustments, good luck. Preach, Neely. Love the truth. RK is pissed. Love y'all again.
You're damn right.
You're so pissed, dude.
Finally, someone acknowledged you're pissed. Do you feel better?
I'm glad someone acknowledged that.
Delta V.
That's all he wanted.
Still love Prime. We are just removed from 1-11. What was Mac's record the first 4 years? It takes time. Hope the changes are made. Go Buffs. Last one here from Laura Levy. Shout out to Team DNVR. Rough day. We're fans on good days and bad. Hang in there and have a round on me.
Amen.
Okay.
Oof.
So all that being said, I think this is how we end this.
Well, hold on. I don't know what you're about to say, but I before you end anything, I want to make sure. There's about 1 million comments saying free Jake. So is there something that you want to say?
In terms of free Jake, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, because no one's been holding him back.
I just want to make sure that you feel like you've had all of the space to say
I feel
anything
like I got
that's on your mind.
off my chest. Yeah.
I think so too. I just wanted to make sure because I feel like people think that you're being stopped from saying something or
Free Jake
like
does
that.
have a ring to it, though. I think I'm getting a shirt.
I feel like I got all my takes out and everything. Yeah, it sucks.
It fucking sucks, dude. Like,
Free Jake.
this was terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone is trying to act like it wasn't.
Right. I agree.
It was your perspective on where we go from here can vary. And I think, we got 3 different perspectives on that tonight. But
3,000 if you count the chat.
no one is going to say that wasn't bullshit.
No, not at all.
And this loss, like I said earlier, is not just a couple bounces didn't go our way. Whatever, let's regroup and go back next week. This is a fucking wake-up call. This is hey, this shit ain't good enough, and we got to figure it out right now.
Yes, this has to be a turning point.
Right now,
Has to
exactly. This is a look yourself in the mirror and say, this can never happen again. We're never going down 28-0 again. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, that no one here thinks that what happened tonight was acceptable.
Of course not.
And everyone here thinks that things need to change and this team needs to get better immediately.
Mm-hmm. We are absolutely a better team than what we showed tonight.
I agree with that.
We got our asses kicked and should never get our asses kicked like that again. Period.
So this is how I want to end it. I didn't say the word, but perspective. Okay. This is week 2. There's a game on Saturday. It's a rivalry game. This fucking sucks. As you said, everyone agrees with that. But, we can lick our wounds tomorrow, but, we got a game.
Oh, yeah.
The coaches know that. The players know that. But, fan base, too. Like, this is not the time to turn on your coaches and your team right now.
Hell no.
This is
week 2.
It's time to dig in, and just get ready. Yep. There's a big game on Saturday, and you need to finish, I think, 2-1 in non-conference. You just have to.
Yeah.
You need some momentum going into conference play, and that's another kind of perspective, positive thing. We haven't started conference play, and you said it at the beginning, and I know people probably didn't want to hear it at that point, but this team's goals are still right in front of them. So
very much so. Nothing is unreachable.
Yes.
Like we're still – in fact, we win tonight. Mm-hmm. We're 2-0. We're still the same damn distance from the goals.
Yes.
That's true.
1-1 and 2-0 are still the same distance from the goals. Mm-hmm. Like we're trying to go to the Big 12 championship in Dallas on December 7th. Mm-hmm. That is still in play. It is still in reach, and we have the talent to do it.
Do you have anything
No,
else?
I'm good. Go ahead.
I also understand everyone in here who is saying their panic meter is at an 8. They're at a 9. They're at a 10. Like, everyone can feel however they want to feel about this. And the other thing that I want to say is that Colorado has not lost a rivalry game since Barack Obama was in office. So, if you're in your feelings tonight and you're pissed off and you threw your remote across the room or whatever it may be, like, I get it. This is not a normal feeling. And I think there was a part of me at least that was just like, I guess we just don't lose rivalry games anymore. Like, we're going to find a way. That's how I felt at the end of CSU last year when we kind of pulled the rabbit out of the hat and got out of there with a win. Mm-hmm. And so that all changed tonight. But I do think that this was good timing for a wake-up call. Because last year, it kind of felt like the wake-up call maybe came a little bit too late and things went left.
When would you say – well, for me, the wake-up call was Oregon last year. And in that game –
well, you didn't have Travis.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Look, we're dealing with injuries right now. We still have Shedeur. We still have Travis. We still have Will. We still have LeJohntay. We still have a lot of difference makers on this team. Mm-hmm. And there's still, I don't know what's here. There's positives. When you watch the film, there's going to be things that you look back on and go, that is better than last year. It is just better.
And which is why when I start off the show, and as RK said, it probably pissed people off because they weren't in that space yet, and they're probably still not in that space. But I'm going to say again, because I talked about the Oregon game when we first started. When you look at like measuring sticks of where you are and where you think you are and where you should be, we learned in Oregon where we weren't.
Yes.
We learned tonight where we weren't. Mm-hmm. Did it come at the hands of a rival? Yeah. Did it come at the hands on the road? Yeah. All of that matters, and I'm not like watering that down. We learned where we are. Mm-hmm. Like we had North Dakota State and learned some lessons there. You got it out with a win, and it was a good test going into the season. Great game, great test. You know where you are now. Mm-hmm. And the goals are still on the table. And I think we're going to still reach them.
Yeah. I get it. I get why everyone's upset.
Of course.
And it's fair. It is. But I love what Jake said. There's no time for infighting right now.
And and this may just be because I'm the one in the press box and I'm the one on Twitter the whole goddamn game and
Yeah,
stuff. But
I couldn't even access Twitter during the game.
the first half freakouts just gotta kind of chill. Like we gotta grit our teeth and just realize this is football, man. Like bad stuff is gonna happen. Like stupid penalties are gonna happen. Like you just can't get angry at that stuff when it happens at the beginning of the game. There's so much game left that there's no time to be feeling bad about ourselves. Oh, we gotta like all this stuff like bench Hank and all this. Like there's no time for this. Like that's just what we have. Like that's what we got to roll with.
But that's just fans.
It is.
Like everyone is very emotional during the games. That's just fans. That's just football. That is what it is. But just going back to what you said, like we can't be pointing fingers at each other right now. We got CSU on the schedule.
Yeah.
This is another rivalry game. This is not the time to be panicking internally.
Period. I mean, let's
go out there and win a fucking football game, be 2-1, and start moving forward. Like I said about the wake-up call, I wanted to circle back to that. To me, I think the wake-up call should have been Stanford. But I think that the nature of that loss sent the team the other way. I think that this team is much more suited to be able to take this and grow from it than it is to start pulling apart.
And that's exactly what I was saying earlier about adversity and what are we going to do after a loss.
Yep.
I know the USC thing, I get all that, but the wheels came off when we started losing and we never were able to rebound. I want to see, and I believe it's going to happen, and the world's going to see how this team, not because what we got to be honest with, we whooped Nebraska's ass last year, but it wasn't this team. It was just that school. Like they had a different team out there tonight. We had a different team out there tonight. This team didn't stack up well against that team. What are you going to do learn from it? Are you going to do like last year, just let it get worse, worse, and worse and worse? And I'm talking about coaching, scheme, players, all of it, fans, all of it. Or are you going to have this wake-up call and be like, you know what? That won't happen again. And see to it that it doesn't happen again.
I guess last thing I want to say, there's been some people kind of going after Coach Prime for all this. That's not the move. That is 100% not the move.
Good luck with that.
So I'd encourage you to not do that because just hearing from Coach after the game, I think that his mentality, and it probably pissed a lot of people off because I don't think he wasn't like, he never does this, but he wasn't moping, like sad, like the end of the world for him. I think he had great perspective. I think he obviously knows. There's a long way to go with this, and there's things that can be fixed. There's things that obviously need to be addressed, but that's the wrong target.
Yeah, please go watch this press conference. Please. I don't care what the hell you watch. Just go watch it. And you'll learn a lot about the mentality and perspective of this team because attitude reflects leadership. And Coach Prime, as the leader, is setting the tone in that locker room. And you'll see how come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, this team coalesces around this loss and moves forward and gets ready and then beats Colorado State and keeps going on and on. This is football. Let me ask you two football guys something. CFP, college playoff system. How many in that final 12 undefeated teams you think there'll be?
Oh, there's maybe one or two.
Come on, dog.
Yeah,
I totally agree. No more than two. I think there's going to be some 3-loss teams in it.
Absolutely.
Certainly some 2-loss teams in it. I get it. Rivalry. I'm new here. I get all that. I'm not pouring water on that. We lost one game. Everything that we said this summer that we were going to do this season is still on the table to do if we don't let it tear us apart.
Last year, Oklahoma State took an FCS loss, made the Big 12 title game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just important to
I love it. I love it.
acknowledge that a lot has to change before we start talking about that type of shit.
Of course.
Big 12 championship, college football playoff, all that shit is a really long way from where we are right now.
Well, let me put one thing in front of that long way shit. What's goal number one?
Win next week.
Yeah, I mean, that's the immediate sense. I mean, the big sense was get Miss Peggy to a bowl game. I'm talking about Coach Prime's vision. Now, that's the head coach.
Yeah.
Coach Prime said he wants to get Miss Peggy to a bowl game. Correct? Right or wrong? Didn't he say that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that still on the table?
Everything is still on the table.
That's the only point
So
I'm making
let's-
with it.
Yeah. Start moving forward.
Yeah.
But we got a long way to go.
Chat, I love you.
Jake is free.
Be kind to each other. Everything's good here, by the way,
Free
chat. Can you
Jake!
guys, we're fine.
Free Jake.
So, my guy.
Yeah, always Jake.
We're
You're
really
free,
far
man.
away because the slides are open.
Yeah. I'm glad the
will-
slides open. Our knees are not touching.
We will be back tomorrow. We will sleep on this.
Will we?
5 hours.
Tops.
Technically, our eyes will be closed between now and tomorrow's show. So
But everyone can sleep the whole way home.
that's true. We will see you
That's a
tomorrow.
great point.
We love you. Be kind to each other. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go
He's a
Buffs.
good human.
We all silly like the mayor.